What's up, what's up, what's up? I got this, I got fat. Today is November 18th, 2020. 217 years ago, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, along with 17,000 Haitian soldiers, embarked on what would be the last battle of the Haitian Revolution. Let's talk about it.
Alright, what's up?
I am Jessica Brittany Prosper. I am 23 years old and I am originally from Haitian Haiti. However, I was raised in North Miami, Florida. So we know that the Haitian Revolution was a period of time between the 1750s and 1803. Now, without getting into much about it, because I want y'all to come back and follow along in the series with me, we go back to the 1750s and we see that Spain and France were fighting over the territory that we now know as Haiti. In 1675, the Treaty of Wiswick, which the church then decided that the island would be split in two, giving one to France and one to Spain. That's where you have your Saint-Domingue and your Santo Domingo, which are pretty much the same word, but you know.
Anyways,
Fast forward, August 14, 1791, we have Betty Bookman with the great assistance of the wonderful Cecilia Fatiman, who was a Mambo. They did the voodoo ceremony that called on the spirit of Ogun, and we already know Ogun don't play. When you call Ogun, it's because you've tried all the ways that you can to go about it peacefully, and now it's time to get active. So that's what happened. Then you have in that same year, a couple days later, August 21st, the beginning of what we know as the Haitian Revolution. The Haitian Revolution was strategically based on guerrilla warfare because the Haitian troops knew that they were smaller in size. France came with about 50,000 soldiers. The life expectancy of a slave was about 3 to 7 years. When you got down from the boat, from 3 to 7 years, you would die. So you can imagine the difference in the ratio between my people and the oppressors. And that's also one of the beautiful things about this story, that the underdogs really used everything that they had at their disposal, they used for their victory. Okay, so let's get into what we're here to talk about. Batay Vètyè, 1803, and you still have Haiti fighting with France for liberation. And at this point of the revolution, Napoleon is at his last end.
cool. Alright, so
Napoleon was one of those white supremacists who just loathed the idea of black people being free, let alone for us to have an independent nation, you know? That was just a little bit too much for him. Why? I don't know.
maybe he understood that we were descendants of the people who built the pyramids and y'all stole their stuff. Anyways.
France was losing. Like they had lost control over most of Saint-Domingue at this point. Napoleon sent Rochambeau over to Haiti with one purpose and one goal in mind: to exterminate the rest of the Haitians left on the island. Now, the theory behind that was that Africa had plenty of people left. All we had to do was get us a new boat, go on over there, get us some new Africans, bring them back over here, and start this thing all over. That was the intention, because they understood that they were not going to win this. They were fighting against people who literally decided, I'm not going to be a slave. You're going to give me my freedom or I'm going to die. It's that.
There's a story about a man loading himself into a cannon to launch at the French soldiers. You don't fight against people like that. People like that, that's like fighting somebody with chest tattoos. Kid, they don't care. Another thing about Rochambeau, he was sent here to kill the Africans. However, he didn't really too much care about anyone. Like, not the mulattoes. Like, they thought they were safe, but he had this, like, dinner party where all the people was there, cool, whatever. And then at one point in the party, he brought all the wives into a separate room. And he was like, I have these gifts for you. So, they get the gifts, everybody all excited, being soon, kid. A whole op in your face, being soon. They get the boxes, they opening it. Tell me why it's the heads of their husband. Kid, that day, I ain't gonna lie, that's where Rochambeau messed up. Because that day, the Haitian troops gained allies. The people linked up after that. They was like, oh no, we gotta get these people out of here, because there's no way this is happening.
We know why Rochambeau is here. We see what the French is doing. We know what their plan is. Now let's start talking about Haiti, because that's all I care about for real. Anyways, so at this point of the revolution, our leaders are Toussaint and Dessalines. Toussaint actually had the opportunity to be able to become the first African general in the French military. Why you want to do it? I don't know, but still. Anyways, and he's regarded to be one of our most profound leaders. And some people would actually compare him to, when you're talking about civil rights leaders, they would compare him to like Martin Luther King. Like, that was kind of his approach, more peaceful. You know, let's talk about it. Let's come to an agreement type situation. Yeah, so Toussaint drafted a constitution, and that kind of made him feel like he could talk to them. And I don't know what he was trying to appeal to. I genuinely don't know. Like, I'm just gonna have to wait until I get to heaven to ask him. because I just don't. You know what? I won't even remember when I'm in heaven. I won't care anymore. There's no more pain and sorrow. Why do I care? Anyways. So Toussaint drafts this constitution, and in the constitution he banned slavery. Now this constitution gets to Napoleon, and Napoleon is like, kid, what? Excuse me? So he writes Toussaint, and he's like, you know what, come over, let's talk about this, let's figure something out. Et puis Toussaint, I live with me. So Toussaint go over to meet with the people, right? Ends up getting captured, thrown in a dungeon, and yeah. So they say he died of tuberculosis or something. But he was in a dungeon. Now we have Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Now, Jean-Jacques was raised by a Dahomey woman, and not just any old woman. He was raised by Tante Toya. We have Jean-Baptiste Dessalines. Thank God for this man, because he was the man who bought Dessalines and gave him his freedom, and that's how he became a free man again. So then he joins the Haitian military. He rises in those ranks. He's well respected among our people. We see him as a leader. Dessalines was actually a slave. You feel me? He never forgot, even after becoming a free man, he never forgot what it was to be a slave. With the pictures, you'll see like his back was just bruised because they was beating the dog. Like, they was really beating him for real. Never forgot what it was to be a slave. So rising above the ranks, he knew in the back of his head what the goal was. We have to liberate ourselves. There's no way we can stay like this. We have to continue this fight and finish it. Remember that France has already lost control over most of Saint-Domingue. So for this particular battle, it's about recapturing Saint-Nicolas and Okap. Okap was the capital at the time. It was very imperative that we got Okap back to secure our freedom. So on November 6, 1803, Dessalines leaves Grenouille and goes to Limbe, where he meets troops ready for him to walk and march towards Okap to take it back and reclaim it. Now, we all know Dessalines' plan was pretty simple. Attaquer wak force, met gros armes sou yo, et puis craser yo. That's it. Point barre. Very simple. It was very simple. This is how we do what we came to do. Let me refocus. Okay, so the plan is set, and now we've reached the day. It is now November 18th, 1803, and at 4 o'clock in the morning, Clairvaux sounded off the opening shots. And after that, I mean, y'all know what ended up happening at the end. So, historians say Batay Vètyè actually lasted only about 11 hours, from 4 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. However, it was one of the bloodiest battles that we've ever seen in our time. They said they came with about 50,000 troops, and baby, them people left with 7,000. Them Haitians ain't play with them. They did not play. Capois was actually a very important figure in this story. Once the attack started in Okap, Rochambeau fled Okap and went to Vètyè. Capois was sent over to fight over there. Capois is leading the people, right? And the French soldiers, they attack, and he gets injured, and he's still. They strike again. His horse gets injured, and he still, nevertheless, endure. Let's go. We have a goal. We have a mission. We can't stop now. And at that point, the French soldiers was like, kid, I ain't gonna lie, we lost. Rochambeau sent over a little funny lad with the white flag, you know. It's over, it's done, y'all won, congratulations, compliment. Y'all boys about that for real. We underestimated y'all, but y'all was not playing about y'all freedom. You damn right. Listen, Rochambeau just took the L, kid. He took the L. The people was not playing, and he was not trying to play either. So that was that. So the next day, November 19th, 1803, Rochambeau signs over papers that gives Okap back to Dessalines and the Haitian people. He also gifted him with a horse. That was cute. On December 4th, 1803, the French finally let go of Saint Nicolas. Now this marks the end of what we know as the French colonial period in Haiti. And now we have the birth of the first Black independent nation led by Emperor Jean-Jacques Dessalines. See, and you know what's crazy? At times like these make me remember why it's imperative that I get my hand on one of those black and red Haitian flags, because that's actually the flag of the occasion. You know, black for my people, red for the blood of my ancestors. Being Haitian, there's something igniting about revisiting the Haitian Revolution. So I invite you all to come back and go through this with me, because low-key, the regiment beat my ass. So what I do when that happens is I just remind myself who the fuck I am. Remind myself who I came from. A blood of warriors. I got this. I got this just like you got this. We got this, and we gonna be straight, okay? As Haitian Independence Day approaches, I actually would like to challenge not just Haitians, Black people in general, because this is a story about African Black people. It's a beautiful story. It's an empowering story. If you want with me, that's great. If you want to do the research by your own, that's splendid. However, I just think that the Haitian Revolution is just a story that all Black people should know. With that being said, can we start talking about how we're gonna make Haiti better? Because I'm tired.
I thank God a lot that I'm Haitian, you know, because it's just the pride and the culture that comes with it. Not to mention the food. Oh my God, the food. Yes, sir. It's just theology, girl. Just theology. Just theology. See you next time. I'll see you next time. Not even like that.